Welcome to Insight Plug, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm your host, Devon Jones. Today on our show, we have an actor and multi-talented artist, Steve Davis. Steve, welcome to the show.
Hi, Devon. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here, and I'm glad that you gave me the honor to interview you. And the fact that you're a multi-talented artist, that means you have so many skills, and we're gonna dive into all of them. But Steve, usually what we like to do here, we like to bring the audience kind of back to the beginning. So if you can bring us up to speed, when did creativity or, when did the artist start for Steve?
So it's been a long time coming since I was probably a kid. And I've known since then that I've wanted to do so many things. There's writing and like art, drawing art and music, but acting's always been kind of like the go-to thing. Like I've always felt like that I've always wanted to do that for quite some time. And so it's just been really awesome. And the journey so far it's been great. For the creativity sparks, I'd say that started probably in my teen years and then, you know, just went and continued from there. So it was
Uh,
great.
Awesome, awesome. So you did mention that you knew acting was going to be something that you wanted to do. Like, when did you know that? Were you in a play or did you see something on TV?
I did see something on TV, and it was a movie known as Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes and Paul Giamatti. I watched that when I was like 10 years old, and I just knew. And then when the scene of when they're like in Hollywood and they're like idolizing all the costume department, like going by them, that's when I was like, huh, that's a good connection between viewer and movie. So that was phenomenal work. And I think like the fact that it just gave me this sort of put me in a trance a little bit just to be like, yeah, you should do this. I'm like, okay. So ever since then I kind of just pulled up a of my parents' camcorder and just started using that all the time and like making videos and stuff. And then as for acting, it kind of just gravitated a little bit into more of my teen years. So when I was probably 14 is when I did some Shakespeare at a local drama club. So I did that for a couple of years. That was pretty fun. It wasn't like it was broken down Shakespeare, so like a lot of kids would understand the story and understand what's happening. And basically from there, like there wasn't very much art between when I was like 16 to like 28. There was a little bit of YouTube in there. So like my friends and I did a bunch of skits on various YouTube channels and did lots of projects there. And then suddenly Company of Rogues came on my radar. I found that through Tinder.
Hmm.
So that was pretty interesting. I was swiping and one day and then I just found a girl and I was like, oh. And then it turns out she went to Company of Rogues Actors Studio. So I swiped. I tried, nothing happened, but I got the name of the specific place she went to. And I'm like, okay, Company of Rogues. And one day during the COVID pandemic, I was like, Company of Rogues Actors Studio. And then from there, I contacted Joe Norman Shaw and Sally Kachik, and we kind of got some sorted. And I was in my first class, so that was really fun. And then I did a bunch of sessional stuff afterwards, and then I was in the masterclass program, which was a couple of years from 2022 to 2024. And then yeah, I've loved acting ever since, and it's been sort of an eye opener. Um, for opening up so many other arts and stuff. And it's made me kind of a little bit of a better writer, a little bit of I don't know if any other actors can attest to this, but it's kind of definitely made the rest of the the art spectrum a lot better in some way, and it's just way to connect to your own art so much easier. It just made it so much easier to do. So yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. So you found the studios, took a master class. So I'm curious how you were navigating towards acting, but then you mentioned you did some writing in there. Could you share with us that
Yes.
first writing experience?
So again, this kind of goes back to when I was 12. And so I wrote a story called Jason Sinclair and the Weavers, also known as Europintic Ice. And that story has kind of started off as like a Harry Potter custom story, as if I was in the world of Harry Potter. And then it slowly graduated and became something completely original. And every little bit, things just changed. And it was cool. Like details were updated, characters were way more original and now they're like they have way more depth, which is really interesting. And so, especially being an actor. So, when I wrote that book and during that time, I thought it was like the best thing. Like usually when you're a kid, the best ideas come at that point. And so, as I mentioned before, that story gravitated and um became more original and became more creative as it went along. And now it's available on Amazon
Oh, wow.
for since I self-published through the KDP program there, and it's completely free, completely easy to use. And yeah, and now it's in physical copies. So I'm stoked. Like that was one thing I've always wanted to do, and then it finally happened. So, and I've been writing scripts as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations on that.
No, thank you so much.
All right, Steve, so let's dive into some of these projects we have here. Let's talk about this first one we have. It's titled Inner. Um, First, what's the experience on that and how did you come up with the concept?
So the concept was with my buddy and I, we decided to do something that's a little bit bigger than our YouTube videos. And so Inner was been a sort of a project that was kind of delayed, and it's kind of gone through like a bunch of hit and miss scenarios, and it's always been so difficult to kind of get people to like help out and stuff. And so we're now in the process of like finishing episode 3, I believe, out of 7 at the time of recording this. That may change in a few months, but otherwise, yeah, like it's really been like a huge learning curve. And the fact that there's so much detail we gotta like put in there. Like it's been revamped like a couple times, I'd say, so far. And it's honestly gonna be really good when it comes out. So it's just a matter of like funds and stuff now. But yeah, the story itself is it's coming along really nicely. So
Awesome, awesome. Love to hear that. All right, so now let's jump into this next one. This one is titled My Color Clones.
yeah. Oh yes. Oh, we're going way back. So my color clones, this was one day when I was at my then day job. I was writing down, I was wearing a blue V-neck t-shirt, and I'm like, what could I do to like create a solo series that just involves me while my friends are doing their own thing because they're unavailable. So I decided to be like, you know what, I'm going to create a series just to work on, while I wait for their availability. And so I later just combined a bunch. What if there were V-neck t-shirts and they were all different colors? And then the idea expanded into clones. And so I was like, okay. And I started writing it down like mad and wrote like, I think 5 episodes in one day or something. It was just insane. And so looking back on it, it's kind of cringe, but it's also very nostalgic because I remember back in 2015. Oh, I guess I could say it was roughly 10 years ago or over 10 years ago. And just looking back on it, it's just remarkable and how far like I've come as a writer, I've come as an actor and a creative in general, and it's just such an easy series to do. And then later on, my friends joined in on it, and it was just yeah, it's an awesome thing and an awesome memory to look back on and be like, oh, we did this 7 seasons of this, and it was awesome. It was pretty good.
Love it, love it. And that's impressive. You say you wrote the first 5 episodes within a day?
Yeah, it's the motivation behind that. So whenever you get a new idea, it's just like, and then I just suddenly just remember writing down like 5 episodes, and then like I filmed the first episode right away as soon as I got home, and it was so exciting. I just remember being so excited to do all of that, and yeah, it was a blast.
So, I'm curious. I have a question. Being that you're a writer and an actor, um, it's not more like a turn off, turn on switch, but when you're thinking of these ideas, are you thinking it from as in like an actor perspective or like just solely a writer, being that you are an actor as well?
I think it comes across more as an actor. So I'm wondering if it how it can be filmed, who's going to be in it, or if it's going to be filmed, because who knows, it could be a stage thing, could be just a play reading. I know there's a lot of those locally. There's also like maybe like in a podcast style, like an audio drama. I know Big Finish does that. Big Finish is a audio storytelling company in the UK, and they do lots of like Doctor Who and stuff like that. And so um we my friend and I did that with one episode, and it was only one episode. It was called Eclipses Us, and it was the pilot, and we had a bunch of actors during COVID at one time, and just um joined us all on this one episode journey. And it was like non-union, it was non-paid, and but the amount of people that actually wanted to be a part of it was insane during that time. And so we we casted who we casted, and then it just kind of rolled from there. But yeah, I figured like getting that actor perspective, and then it becomes the writer perspective after. So I think it all comes from feeling, and it's like feeling and experience, all of that's being jocked down on paper and that or on the computer. And so I just find that interesting, the creative process of like a script and such. So it's really cool.
Awesome. And I'm gonna kind of double down on that, being that you're the multi-talented part, right? So you say you had the early Shakespeare experience on stage, and now you're writing a series. When you're writing, are you thinking of I'm gonna make this for the theater, or I'm gonna make this for the film, or I'm gonna make this like a TV web series?
I think as far as writing goes, I feel like it comes naturally. So for Shower Beer, which is one of the scripts I've written, it just kind of came as an idea of like a one scene, one character suffering, but also in the style of like a dark comedy. So I think there's a certain fit that goes into how to tell the story. And I think so much, there's so many script ideas that I was like, oh, this could be this could be this. I think it's a matter of like who's going to be involved, how can we portray this? But then there's also the fact of like, oh, but it could be this. Oh, but it could be this. And it is daunting a little bit, but at the same time, it's so like the creative process is just, it's fascinating. So regardless of where it turns or whatever, it's just, yeah, it's really cool.
I love it. It's like it feels like you're open to your own creativity. Kind of
That's
like
right.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
right.
I love it. And you mentioned the next project, Shower Bear.
Yes.
One, the name, I've heard it several times when I was in the military, not like a fraternity thing, but Shower Bear, where did you come up with that concept? And could you share a little bit more about that project?
It's this reminds me of like this one time when I had a beer, I had a shower, and surely enough, I was like, huh, it's a the idea just got sort of clicked, and I was like, you know what? What if this character was suffering so bad that he was just so lonely and just go from there. Like there's like it's still in development right now, but it's like the concept to that idea was like eye-opening. I just
Hmm.
remember like it was like so cold. It was during the winter, I believe, and I couldn't go out and use a hot tub. So I was like I really wanted to use a hot tub, but then I was like, it's too cold. I'm gonna go upstairs, have a shower instead. So without saying too much detail, shower, beer, that's where the name came up. So,
Awesome, awesome. All right. All right, Steve. So now let's dive into this project. I love the name, Souls and Sanctuaries.
ah, so during the YouTube journey, we came to our sort of 11th year and a half ending. And so I wanted to go out with a bang. So for those who don't know, I had a YouTube channel known as Green Heat 13. Shout out to Frank and Riley and Ethan. Uh basically um Green Heat 13 was a sketch comedy YouTube channel, and we did a bunch of skits off there. Some of them good, others weren't. Um and then and so we wanted to kind of just wrap up this whole thing and like make it big. And so Souls and Sanctuaries was this project that I did back in the day, and it took probably about a year to film, just going around everyone's schedule. But we made it work, and it was a thing. It was released March 16th, 2024. And on that same day, we said goodbye to Green Heat 13 and like said hello to new things. And so now I have a YouTube channel called Soren Network, where it's more of a collab thing. So if any artist wants to like do projects of any sort, whether it's film, short films, plays, play readings, or whatever, it would go on there. So that was like the last step from the YouTube world into the film and stage world. So yeah.
Awesome. And while we're on that, Steve, could you share with the viewers and the listeners, where can they find some of your work?
So if you go onto my Instagram, there is a link tree, and if you click the link tree in my bio, it'll show everything of what's there. So in regards to music, acting, even some of my old YouTube videos, everything is there in that sort of link tree bundle. So there'll be a bunch of links just in that one link. So
Awesome, awesome. Remember, everyone, get connected with Steve and follow him, check out his projects, and we're looking forward to what's next. Steve,
absolutely.
so with your early Shakespeare, the YouTube channel, being a writer, being an actor, what would you say has been your greatest achievement so far?
I think being an actor, because then that way, like, I'll always treasure every other project I've made as a creative in general. But now I've kind of gone sort of a slightly different path without sort of exiting that world. And so acting has always been sort of the gut thing that it's always led to. And it's like, there's one thing, but there's also this thing. And like, acting has always been that bigger bubble. And so I took Company of Brogues. I did quite a few plays with them. I did Children's Hour. I played Dr. Joseph Cardin on that. I almost said his name wrong. And for my last year masterclass program in 2024, uh, I did Garden and I was Giles, so that was interesting. And then this past year, I was Shasta from Horse and His Boy. And so all that was interesting. And then for film, I did Door of Doom, Unheard, um, Fleeting Memories, Tooth, and Sweet Sacrifice. So I have kind of that 5 of each thing going on here. So, and I hope that number continues. And I'm always down to, if anyone needs an actor and needs, someone to be a certain character, get in contact. So, yeah, just a shout out to all those brilliant directors, brilliant creatives, and other actors in the community, not just from Canada, but all my friends and all their friends. Much love to you all.
Awesome. Creators, filmmakers, directors, you need an actor, reach out to Steve. Steve, so let's stay with actor just for a tad bit longer. As an actor, would you say you're more navigated towards a specific genre or like a character? Would you like playing the most, or does it matter?
Hmm. I like whatever I can get, whatever the director sees me as, but I do like playing that husband because I've played a couple of those in the stage plays I'd mentioned, and I seem to have adjusted to that, but also to doctors for some reason. So I think that's it's always a good thing to kind of experiment where to go without being typecasted or anything. So I have a pretty decent wheelhouse, so I could probably reach and do different roles here and there. And yeah, like I'd say like in regards to Shakespeare, I did a Romeo and Juliet scene. Shout out to Rogues again. But basically I played Romeo in that scene, and so any character I guess like that, it's like sort of youthful, but also like mature. So really like the wheelhouse it's endless. I've played so many different characters and dove deeper into them, but I always like playing either like a hero or a villain or sidekick or whatever. So I'm good with anything really. So
Awesome, awesome. I love it. All right, Steve, we're at that part of the episode where I ask this question to all the guests. What is a book, a TV show, or a film that you recommend?
let's see. If anyone's looking for a TV show, this got one goes quite back to the early 2000s, and that is the IT Crowd. It is a UK comedy. You will laugh and laugh and laugh if it's obviously your type of comedy, but I just found that super hilarious. Who knows what you're going to get out of that, and it's just so interesting, and you'll yeah, you'll be thinking about it for days. That's kind of that sort of humor. But I don't know how well it's aged, but yeah, that's definitely one show. Otherwise, Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who, so at least watch one episode and see what it was like. And yeah, so I think at least that's for TV shows anyway. But yeah, try and watch whatever you can to get. If you're an actor, try and figure out their intentions. That's always a good thing to do. And yeah, and if you're a filmmaker, well, something will gravitate towards you.
Awesome, awesome. All right, everyone, that's been our episode today of Inside Plug. Steve, thank you again for stopping by.
Thank you so much, Devon.
This has been an honor. All right, everyone, remember, you know where to find us. We're on YouTube, Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember, stay inspired and keep creating. Inside Plug, signing out.